Every time you search, watch, or browse while signed into your Google account, invisible labels may be forming in the background. These labels estimate your interests, your life stage, and even habits, qualities you rarely see, yet may encounter when you use Google's ecosystem. The system is not just cataloging what you do, it's learning what you might do next. Each assumption becomes part of your digital reflection, shaping the ads you might see and the suggestions that appear around you. But these labels are not permanent. You can see them, adjust them, and redefine how the system perceives you. The algorithm builds a version of you, but it's editable. Today, we open Google's My Ad Center to reveal the hidden profile shaping your online world. The majority of Google's revenue comes from advertising, as disclosed in Alphabet's annual report. Understanding who is on the other end of the screen is central to how the company operates. Yet Google rarely asks you to describe yourself directly. Instead, it lets behavioral patterns tell the story. Clicks, views, searches, and movement across services become quiet indicators of identity. Each time you load a YouTube video, enter a phrase into search, or navigate with maps, those signals feed a learning system that can connect activity across different Google platforms. Over time, a portrait emerges, not a static description, but a living estimate that adjusts as your habits evolve. This model of ad personalization has changed how digital advertising works. Rather than placing audiences into broad demographic boxes, Google refines categories for each user, trying to make ads feel relevant while collecting only as much information as needed for prediction. That balance between targeting precision and privacy boundaries defines much of the modern web economy. Visualize this process as a vast grid of dots. Each action adds another, gradually revealing the outline of a user. The fuller that pattern becomes, the more confidently Google's systems may predict what will interest you next. For users, this often means faster answers and suggestions, more relevant recommendations, and advertising that feels personalized, all powered by continuous observation and probabilistic inference. The information powering Google's labeling system comes from many small signals across its ecosystem. Location history may suggest travel routines or local habits. Frequent visits to airports or hotel searches might imply one pattern. Regular browsing of neighborhood shops might imply another. Even simpler location-related cues, like repeated navigation to a gym or a nursery, can nudge the system toward lifestyle themes, especially when those signals recur over time. Your search and watch histories add further evidence. A set of queries about cameras, editing tools, and color grading might place you in a creative cluster. Streams of recipe videos or home improvement content could mark you as interested in cooking or DIY projects. These clusters are not facts, but probabilities, correlations derived from shared behavior patterns, and they often form from combinations: the search you type, the video you finish, the topic you return to a week later. Demographic estimates, such as possible age ranges or gender, may appear as general inferences based on similarities to other profiles rather than self-declared details. The system is effectively comparing patterns, what people with certain declared attributes tend to do, and how closely your behavior resembles those groups. Timing also matters. Searching late at night for travel plans or streaming podcasts during weekday commutes can hint at lifestyle rhythms. Settings shape how strong these signals can be. If web and app activity, YouTube history, or location history are paused, fewer cues may be available. If they are enabled, the system may have more continuity to work with across services. When signed in, Google may connect signals from multiple services, merging your search activity, YouTube history, and Maps usage to strengthen certain inferences. A person researching hiking trails, watching outdoor gear reviews, and checking weather forecasts might be placed within an outdoor recreation group. Even device interactions, browsing on a phone versus a laptop, become subtle contextual data points. All these indicators flow into the profile visible in my Ad Center, where you can review how the system interprets your activity. Your activity becomes categories, an abstraction built from patterns, not facts. At its core, Google's labeling mechanism is a probabilistic system, a statistical detective sorting patterns rather than certainties. The algorithm doesn't know you, it infers you. It observes countless users and looks for combinations of behaviors that often point to similar interests. Think of it like a weather forecast. Meteorologists study conditions to estimate the chance of rain. They never state it with absolute certainty. Similarly, Google's system may predict interests and demographics based on recurring behavior clusters it has seen before. Under the hood, much of this comes down to confidence. One search is weak evidence. Repeated engagement across different moments and surfaces, searching a topic, watching related videos, returning to it later, can raise confidence that the interest is real. If the signals are inconsistent, confidence stays lower. The system can hold multiple possibilities at once rather than locking you into a single identity. It constantly balances short-term signals against longer-term patterns. A few days of searching for workout routines might create a temporary health label, but if that interest fades, the label slowly decays. Imagine ink that disappears if not continually refreshed. Long-term consistency, like steady interaction with photography topics, builds stronger, more persistent categories. These are like footprints pressed deep into sand, remaining until newer activity reshapes them. Picture all users located on a three-dimensional landscape where distance reflects behavioral similarity. Those in the same neighborhood share related interests. When your habits shift, your dot migrates to a new region within this behavioral map. The move isn't sudden. It's a drift, guided by accumulated signals. Another way to visualize weighting is like an audio mixer. Each interest area is a slider. Travel, fitness, cooking, tech. A burst of travel planning might push the travel slider up for a while. If that burst ends and home project searches continue, the travel slider can drift down as the home slider rises. The system also encounters contradictions. If you research international travel, but often check for local delivery options, both signals remain, though their relative weight can adjust dynamically. The algorithm learns which patterns persist and which conflict, producing a tempered profile rather than an all-or-nothing judgment. It may also separate curiosity from commitment, a one-off spike versus a sustained routine. When you interact directly, by removing or muting a category in My Ad Center or pausing activity controls, the system can treat that as feedback. Over time, suppressed categories may fade and related predictions weaken, while new activities add fresh weighting. Scalability is what gives the model strength. Millions of small, uncertain signals combine into broad probabilities that evolve continuously. The system remains adaptive, not enforcing a fixed identity, but tending an ever-shifting statistical sketch guided by both observed actions and deliberate user input. The labels Google assigns can quietly shape your everyday experience across its products, ads, video suggestions, and even maps. Recommendations may bend towards subjects the system associates with your profile. A user labeled frequent traveler may notice more flight or luggage-related promotions, while someone marked for home projects might see tool or renovation product ads. These tailored experiences can feel more useful, but also mean your digital environment reflects assumptions, not necessarily full reality. You can see this most clearly when the system overcommits. Watch a few weeks of laptop reviews, and you may start to notice more gadget promotions and accessory ads. Spend a stretch watching cooking channels, and you might see more grocery delivery offers or kitchenware suggestions. The content isn't reading your mind. It's following the trail of probabilities it has built from your recent patterns. Through My Ad Center, Google allows users to view, remove, or adjust inferred categories. You can mute individual topics, review what categories are associated with you, and you may also see why this ad style explanations that hint at which signals are contributing. In tandem, activity controls let you pause data gathering or delete stored history, influencing which signals continue to inform your profile. You can pause web and app activity, YouTube history, or location history, and you can delete activity so older signals stop reinforcing the same assumptions. Some setups also offer auto-delete options, which can reduce long-term accumulation without requiring constant manual cleanup. These actions don't erase personalization entirely. They can shift its tone. If you remove a travel label, regional vacation ads may become less frequent, while other interest areas gain visibility. If you pause location-related signals, place-based suggestions may become less tailored. Managing these settings turns an invisible data model into something understandable and editable. It's less about resisting personalization and more about defining how the algorithm interprets your online story. We've traced how clicks become categories and how those categories quietly shape what you see. You've seen where the signals come from, how they're weighted over time, and how they surface as labels in My Ad Center. Those labels can make your experience smoother, but they can also drift from who you really are. The difference is that you can review, question, and adjust them. Use My Ad Center to refine or mute assumptions, and activity controls to decide what gets stored in the first place. You can't delete the algorithm, but you can correct the record. Next time you notice an oddly specific ad, you'll know where it came from. Subscribe to Behind the Algorithms for more quiet investigations into the systems shaping your digital life.